and welcome to Men of Platinum presents Direct Hit. Now this is the show where we talk about a man of platinum, and first we've got to tell you what that is. A man of platinum is someone who displays indomitable spirit and unwavering values, just like platinum. I've got Deep Dasgupta in studio with me. Deep, before we choose our man of platinum for today's match between Australia and Sri Lanka, I'm going to throw 5 rapid-fire questions at you, and you're going to give me 5 rapid-fire answers.
Let's go.
So our first one, what went wrong in the middle overs for Sri Lanka?
Well, good bowling from the Australians. One is that. Definitely that's the key thing. The other important thing is some of them were very average shots. And I also got a feeling that once they got that good start, they wanted to make sure they go beyond the par score, because they are aware of their depleted bowling attack, and maybe they wanted to get 20 runs extra. So maybe they wanted to play a few more shots, or be a little more aggressive than required. But can't take anything away from the Australian bowlers.
Yeah, and so speaking to that point, the second question, what worked for Adam Zampa?
For someone like Adam Zampa, I think what has worked is, one would be the technical side of things. I think technically his work on his non-bowling arm, his front hand a bit more, I guess. And secondly, I think the second half of his spell, the last few overs, we saw him go back to what has made him so successful in this format, which is bowling flatter, quicker in the air, and kind of depending a little more on the googly and the top spin rather than the leg spin, because he was never a big turner of the leg spin. It was always his strength was the top spin and the googly, and kind of going back to that template again.
Yeah, so you spoke about Sri Lanka's middle order, but now, and this may be a yes or no one, are Sri Lanka too dependent on their top 3 for big runs?
I'm not too sure, because obviously Sadira got a brilliant ball from Zampa. He is one person who gets a lot of runs. He's in good nick, and he's a really, really good batter. Sri Lanka, he blows hot and cold at times, but I wouldn't say, yes, they are dependent, like most teams are, and in fact all teams are. You would expect your top 3 to score, but I wouldn't say completely, though. They have enough batting in the middle as well.
Now, turning to Australia, and we know they've had their problems against spin, would you say Josh Inglis is maybe their best player in this match, demonstrated the best ability against spin?
Yes, and I'm not surprised, because generally you would expect the wicket keeper to be a little more proactive. One is that, be busy. Thirdly, pick the spinner as well, because as keepers, we are kind of asked, or we are trained to see the release from the hand and stuff like that. So not surprised there's a good player against spin, but also he's got the range of shots, sweep, reverse sweep, and stepping out. So he's a busy kind of a player, and definitely is one of the better players against spin.
Yeah, and helped put Australia back on track. But Sri Lanka now, they've lost 3 from 3. So our last rapid fire question, is their semi-final spot in jeopardy?
Yeah, massively. And it's not just about losing, but also how they've been playing so far. The batting has fired. Obviously, the first 2 games, 300 plus runs. But I think the biggest challenge would be their bowling. Obviously, it's depleted. They're missing Hasaranga, maybe Chamira. So not enough experience there. And the guys who've come back, like Lairu Kumara and all, not enough game time either. So I think that's one area which kind of tells me that it'll be very, very difficult from them to qualify from here on.
Yeah, so tough times for Sri Lanka now, but Australia, they're on the board, and I'm assuming that our man of platinum for today's match comes from the Australian side. Who are you going to pick?
I'm going to pick Zampa. I'm going to pick Adam Zampa because, you're talking about spirit. I've seen enough of that from him. Obviously not bowling that well, and not just this tournament, but leading up to this tournament as well. But the way he bowled showed a lot of spirit, a lot of character. And mind you, he's got a hip injury with which he's struggling. We saw that today as well on the field. But again, bowled beautifully the second half again. I mean, we saw what Adam Zampa's made of in terms of character, in terms of spirit, and obviously his talent as a bowler.
Yeah, you're talking about the tough times that he's had, conceded 0 for 113 in South Africa. I mean, that's a century you don't want to your name. A lot of resilience, which is really kind of the qualities of a man of platinum, to come back, to stay in it, and then to deliver a performance of 4 wickets. Is that difficult?
Oh, I'm sure it is. It is very difficult. And let's not forget, he's the only frontline spiller in that squad. So a lot depends on him. Every time you speak to anyone, they'd say, you know what, middle overs, we need wickets. And when you look at Australia, it's Adam Zampa who's the guy who's going to pick you wickets. So also there's a lot of pressure on this young man. And he's at least delivered now, and hope he will going forward as well.
And how much will it do for his confidence? I mean, the team, of course, will be buoyed, but for him?
Huge, because I think he's also found why he wasn't picking wickets, what was going wrong. Because I thought he was a lot slower in the air, a lot fuller in the air. I think he was trying to get his leg spin to turn a lot, which was never his strength. So I think he's gone back to what has worked with him or worked for him in the past. And he's gone back to that and it's worked again in this game.
And part of indomitable spirit, I guess, is also understanding the conditions that you're playing in. Do you think Australia now have a measure of the Indian conditions?
To a great extent, yes. And also the fact that most of them play in the IPL. So that helps. I think almost all of them play in the IPL, including someone like Adam Zampa. He's got enough experience playing in these conditions and, you know, the lines, the lengths, the pace and everything else. But I think what kind of got to him, if I may say so, was the pressure at times, I guess, because being the only spinner and all, trying something different, trying maybe a little too hard. So I think this game kind of has told him, you know what, you don't need to do anything else. Just keep doing what you've been doing all this while and been successful as well. And I hope to see him picking a lot more wickets going forward.
So Deep, you've spoken about how well he's come back and he had to show a lot of perseverance to get himself into that position. Can you explain a little bit about how he didn't have to then go and try something different? He just stuck with what he had. He really persevered with it and it ended up succeeding.
True, at times you do want to try new things, and obviously that pressure of being the only spinner in the team, everyone's looking at you for those wickets and stuff. But then, you know, obviously figured out rather quickly that, you know, whatever the new thing that he was trying, which is trying to bowl a lot of those leg spin, is not working, trying to bowl slower is not working, and just going back to what has helped him. And when you talk about perseverance, I mean, he's injured, he's struggling with his hip injury, and for a bowler, and especially a leg spinner, when you have to counter rotate your body, that's where your hip comes into play. I mean, listen, this is a top effort, and that says a lot about his perseverance and resilience.
Yeah, and his unwavering values as well. So thank you so much for watching. Men of Platinum presents Direct Hit. Our Man of Platinum today, Adam Zampa.